Hello there, listener. I would like to welcome all of our first-time listeners. And for those of you who are joining us again, hello.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. How does it feel to have my voice injected directly into your ear holes once more? I hope you're enjoying it as much as I am.
I hope you're curled up in a nice warm place somewhere, or maybe sprawled out with a nice vista.
That sounds nice.
Yeah.
We're in the middle of New York. It's all steel and concrete and snow.
People rushing back and forth. Busy people everywhere.
Yes, so many people, so many different stories, so many fan fictions. And that's what we're here to do, talk about fan fiction. My name's Alex.
And I'm Ryan.
And this is Suck My Fanfic. Thank you once again for joining us. Today we have a somewhat special episode for you, I'd like to think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got a little bit of a shtick.
Yeah. The typical listener might not be able to tell because we're usually fun and outgoing guys.
Absolutely.
However,
unless, I'm not on the podcast, in which case I'm very reserved. And
I stand
terrified
outside all the time.
Terrified of
myself.
social situations. Absolutely.
For those of you who are curious, we're doing a Rick and Morty podcast this week.
Very exciting.
Which I'm very excited about. And in honor of Rick and Morty, in honor of Rick
and Justin Roiland,
who, fun fact, if you didn't know this, whenever he records the voice for Rick, he is drunk. Mm-hmm. We are drunk.
We're drinking.
We're drinking.
We're
not
drinking.
drunk.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say we're drunk, but we're drinking. Yeah.
There's a stigma about, I have a high tolerance. Everyone wants to have a high tolerance. I feel like, financially speaking, I'd rather have a low tolerance.
Exactly. That's just stupid to have a high tolerance.
Yeah, why is that something to brag about?
Is your pride more important than your wallet? That's what I want to know.
No.
Not mine.
Nope.
No.
Capitalist society has trained me to say no.
No.
They're tied together pretty much.
They're the same exact thing at this point.
So I picked out the fanfic for this week, and it's a little interesting. It's written as a script. It's written as a script that you would submit if you were trying to make a television show.
And it was submitted to Justin Roiland, correct?
I like to think so. I haven't confirmed.
Okay, you don't know
100% confirmed.
If we had to guess, Justin Roiland has read this.
He's read it. He's gone over it with his people, and he's probably stolen from it.
You guys are the same as Justin Roiland right now. Congratulations. We're not, though. We're above you.
Yeah, we're
presenting you with it.
We're omniscient. We don't really have an intro for this week, so we kind of want to talk about, because there's a lot of things to talk about with
with Rick and Morty. There's a lot.
Yeah, with specifically with their fandom,
everything.
And I can share, when I was looking for the story on Archive of Our Own, fanfiction.com, Wattpad, I was just bombarded with a lot of Rick and Morty pairings.
Really?
Sexual. A lot of comfort as well. So even if they weren't sexual, it was a lot of comfort between the two. And we talked about that, how that's kind of an idea. Something bad happens and then one character tries to make the other feel better. Mm-hmm. There's a ton of that. So and the relationship between Rick and Morty is kind of central to the show.
Yes.
Right. I just didn't expect that to be the majority of fan fiction.
So, do you know how Rick and Morty originated? Like how it came to be?
They're supposed to be Doc Brown and Marty McFly.
Yeah. So
from Back to the Future.
So, I personally believe that although it says created by Dan Harmon and Justin Roiland, it's Justin Roiland's show. He does both of the voices. He created it. It's Justin Roiland's.
Yeah, much like our dynamic. Justin Roiland.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say it, but. This isn't really our dynamic because we both come up with it and we let the authors run wild.
Yeah.
But Justin Roiland is kind of like the authors of the fanfic.
Yes.
It's up to them to create the energy.
Yeah.
And then Dan Harmon, us, kind of give it a structure.
Yeah.
Rein
absolutely.
it in
and
an
make audience.
Make it palatable for people.
So Dan Harmon, who is also the creator of Community, which is a great show.
Fantastic show.
Yeah. He had this really neat thing on TV for a while where they would actually present short animated videos in line with each other. and it was fun.
It was a show?
It was a show,
What channel?
Oh.
Like Cartoon Network or something?
I don't think it was Cartoon Network.
Adult
I think
Swim?
It was probably one of the...
Comedy Central?
Weird. No, I don't think it was a network. I think it was one of those, like, you know, you pay extra $5 a month and you get, like, channel 130 or something like that. Something weird. I can't remember what channel it was on. I'm sorry. Anytime I lack knowledge, I'm just going to cite the fact that we've been drinking.
Yeah, that's safe. Yeah,
it's easy.
We should drink more often.
Yeah,
if we ever
so
don't
I
know
always
anything,
have that excuse.
You can fall back on it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a good thing to fall back on.
Your dependency on alcohol is a good thing to fall back on.
I'd be just like my grandpa. It'd be nice. It'd be really nice. Anyways, he had a TV show, and Justin Roiland premiered this idea with... He released a bunch, and he actually had one show before Rick and Morty. I believe it was called Dog World. Is that right? Dog World?
I know he did have something else where he had a bunch of Bill Cosbys living in a house together.
No, that's different. That's a different one. He had two shows, but he had one that almost, I think it was on Fox. It almost got produced, and I think it was called Dog World. Mm-hmm. And it was basically dogs in the place of people and people in the place of dogs. If you watch the episode with Snowball, which I believe is season 1, episode 2, when they go and have their own world, he has said that Dog World is based in that world.
Huh, that's really interesting.
Yeah. So he had Dog World first.
So Dog World was never premiered, right?
No, but if you go online, you can find like the concept art.
So Dog World's kind of like a fan fiction that he created.
Well, I would say it's more like a sequel or a spin-off to Rick and Morty.
A spiritual successor, spiritual inspirer.
Absolutely.
Yeah, sure.
I guess Rick and Morty would be a spiritual successor of Dog World.
Yeah, so spiritual kind of ancestor.
Yeah,
sure.
That's nice. Yeah. We're getting very nice here.
Mm-hmm. Smooth.
Anywho, he created Dog World. It didn't go anywhere. It almost did. Mm-hmm. And so he did this one short with Doc and Marty from Back to the Future, which is perhaps my favorite movie series. And I don't know if you've seen the original video that he did with the two. Mm-hmm. Have you? It is horrific. Yeah. And I think Marty ends up sucking on his nuts.
Yeah, they're like kind of... Yeah. This is a sexual relationship.
It's very sexual.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the fact that you stumbled upon that isn't surprising.
Yeah,
it's pretty...
There's some overtones of it.
Yeah.
Buried deep inside of it.
Yeah,
and just kind of my experience with Rick and Morty is I kind of was late coming to it. I probably started watching around halfway through the second season. And I just would watch it drunk, and I loved it.
Nice.
I thought it was great. That was hilarious, really witty, which I'm into.
Yeah.
But the issue I have with it is with the fandom.
Yeah.
Is with the kind of
Richard and Mortensen are another type of humor, my friend.
Well, you kind of do you want to explain the tone? There's kind of a superiority complex around it.
So Rick and Morty deals with a lot of.
It's science fiction.
It's science fiction, but at the same time, they do deal with philosophy.
Yeah.
And they do deal with other dimensions. Speaking of the PewDiePie episode that we did, it was so funny that the day that we released it, PewDiePie released a video with Elon Musk and Justin Roiland. Might have been the day after.
That's, this is all part of our expanded universe.
Exactly. Yeah, we have a Suck My Fanfic expanded universe, which thankfully can cover every franchise ever.
Yeah.
Anyway.
We're lucky. We're very lucky there.
Yes. And so, Justin Roiland does do a lot of sciencey based things. Yeah. He's very clever. Mm-hmm. He's like the intellectual comedian for normies. That's probably the best way to put it.
Okay.
So for like the normal, average, everyday person, it might take a couple more steps to follow Rick and Morty and enjoy it.
Right.
Which is totally fine.
And there's layers. I think. I mean, with everything, there's there's a base layer at which you can enjoy things. There's a deeper layer if you choose to spend time and energy diving into it.
If you like it that much.
Yeah. And if that uncovers new nuggets for you, that's awesome.
Yeah, of course.
But if you can also enjoy it just at face value, that's perfect. That's great,
And it's not like, 2.5 Men. There's nothing more to that show.
That's just surface level.
Than the surface level. Mm-hmm. Rick and Morty, if you rewatch it, you can catch something every time. And I think that's fun. That's interesting.
Yes.
And
it's a good business model, too.
It is. It really is. Yeah. And it promotes watching multiple times. Mm-hmm. So their fan base, there's that meme, I can't remember what it is, but just about how intelligent the show is.
Yeah.
And how you have to have a level of intellect to follow it.
Yeah, you can't even watch it or discuss it or
unless
enjoy
you're,
it.
you know, a 10th level intellect or something stupid like that. Who cares? And, I mean, the most annoying thing to me with the fan base was the Szechuan sauce. Remember that?
You're talking about season 3, episode 1 of Rick and Morty. There was a plot line involving Szechuan sauce, which is a discontinued sauce from McDonald's to promote Mulan in the 90s.
Mulan 1.
Mulan 1.
Yeah.
And
it's just teriyaki sauce from what I've heard.
Right. And it kind of... It was like the Deus Ex Machina of the episode, and the fans kind of took it as, you know, this is something that we need.
End all be all. If I don't get this, Justin Roiland will never notice me, senpai.
Right, and McDonald's obviously capitalizing on that opportunity.
Of course, why not?
It's a slam dunk.
Yeah.
They bring it back, and then, you know, chaos ensues from there.
They have the one day where they release it. It's a limited release. Only some McDonald's have it, and there's only a certain amount that they can release per store.
Right.
And that didn't work.
Yeah,
it sold out immediately. And they were also doing it in conjunction with the unveiling of their chicken tenders. So their whole thing is like, we need to compete with Chick-fil-A, Burger King,
Burger King's got some good chicken.
Burger King chicken fries are some of the best things on the planet.
Thank you, Burger King chicken fries, for sponsoring not this podcast financially, but in terms of sustenance and nutrition, lack thereof is definitely done.
I'm going to do a quick little aside between you and me.
Please do.
When I was a younger man,
I was a young boy,
my father brought me to the Taco Bell.
Okay.
And I used to sustain myself from Taco Bell.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw this Facebook post that said, all y'all sleeping on Taco Bell now that you got that Chipotle money, but you're never going to remember who helped you through the tough times.
Yeah.
And I think about that a lot.
Interesting.
Because Taco Bell did help me through the tough times.
Mm-hmm.
And
it was there for you.
They were.
Security blanket.
Yep. You can go to Taco Bell right now in New York City, which is so expensive to live in.
So expensive.
Go to a Taco Bell cantina for $5. You get a drink, you get a chalupa, you get a taco, and you get a burrito.
That's corporate sponsorship.
How do you fight that? Mm-hmm. You can't beat that, dude.
That's responsibility. That's everything.
That's a drink. That's everything.
Mm-hmm.
Now, don't get me wrong. It's not the South. They don't have Dr. Pepper, which hurts my soul. I can drink a Pepsi, though. So all that food and a Pepsi for $5? Are you kidding me? Really? That's not the best deal ever?
I could tell you feel very strong about Taco Bell.
I do. Anyways. So McDonald's, they had their Szechuan sauce.
Absolutely.
It was released for one day, limited release. Success/failure. Mm-hmm. Success because they sold out of all of it. Failure because a lot of customers did not get the chance to get it.
Mm-hmm.
So they did a wider release. It went okay.
About as well as you'd expect.
Yeah. But, you know, there's videos online of, like, people legitimately jumping on top of counters yelling, "I'm Pickle Rick! I want my Szechuan sauce!"
Pickle Rick is a reference to another episode of Rick and Morty.
Yeah. And it's just heinous. It's not good. And it makes people who are passive Rick and Morty fans not want to watch the show.
Yeah, it kind of pushes people away.
It does. It alienates the average Rick and Morty fan.
Sure.
And I would probably describe myself that way.
As an average Rick and Morty fan?
Well, okay, so here's what it is. My senior year in high school, Rick and Morty premieres.
You were an early adopter.
Actually, it might have been before that. Yep. Anyways, I'm going to sound like a hipster here. I was watching it before it blew up. So I was a frequent viewer of Adult Swim. It used to be my own personal time at night before I went to bed to watch the 2 episodes of American Dad on Adult Swim.
Okay.
And go to bed.
As soon as Aqua Teen Hunger Force comes on, I'm turning it off.
Actually,
going to sleep.
It was at 10 o'clock was American Dad, 11 o'clock was 2 episodes of Family Guy, and then Aqua Teen Hunger Force. Actually, before that was Robot Chicken at 12, and then 12:30 was Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
There you go, folks. You know this is true. He's got the schedule down pat.
I've got it down pat, my friends. So I would watch a lot of Adult Swim, even though I wasn't an adult. How salacious.
Oh, you were swimming with the adults.
And I think it was, Thursday nights, Friday nights, Rick and Morty would premiere at the beginning. It might have been Saturday nights, but it was around the weekend. And I was just, I watched China, Illinois, which is one of their shows, which isn't very good. Watched a couple of their other shows, which weren't very good, admittedly.
But you found Rick and Morty.
I found Rick and Morty, and I loved it.
You enjoyed it, yep.
I fell in love with it immediately. Season 1, I think, is perfect. Okay. I think it's so good. And I went to school, and I was telling everybody in my acting class, yes, I was a thespian. I was the vice president, in fact.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to play politics here.
Woo.
So, but you enjoy, you recommend it to friends?
Yes, I recommend it to all my friends by hitting them with the joke, "Where are my testicles, Summer?
That's from
You've taken them from me."
The second episode.
Second episode of season 1.
And how do they respond?
At first, so annoyed with me.
Pretty lukewarm.
Alex, stop making that joke. A couple months later, comes summer after my junior year. It was junior year when it premiered. Comes summer after my junior year, a lot of my friends who were seniors had graduated.
Whoa, dub.
We had decided to hang out over the summer. My friends were like, Alex, I hate to admit it, I watched Rick and Morty, and I loved it.
And as much as I dislike you,
don't want
to admit that you're right.
It was great.
It was enjoyable.
And I said, thank you. And so I always had an affinity for Rick and Morty.
You kind of got this chip on your shoulder.
I did.
You're the first person to find it. Yeah. That's totally a normal feeling.
I'm such a contrarian. When it blows up, I'm like, guys, calm down. It's a great show. It's not that great. Like, I don't think any show's that great. Yeah. Maybe the original Justice League animated show from about 2001.
Okay, well, aside from that, that's kind of the thesis of our show, right? Is that the people who are making it are just like you and me and the listener right now.
Yes.
They're just people.
Yes. And their ideas are just as valid material as our own ideas
Exactly.
are. Yeah.
We're drawing from the same human experience, same well.
And it's okay to be happy with it. It's okay to like it. But to, like, jump on counters at McDonald's and say you are Pickle Rick, I don't like anything that much.
It's a bit
I don't like myself that much. Why would I like this show that
I'm
much?
Alex. I wouldn't want to admit that, really, in public. My issue, I think, with the fan base is that it kind of runs antithetical to our concept as a show.
Yeah.
That it's not accessible to everybody. No. It's not for you if you don't meet these criteria, you don't qualify, and it's very exclusionary.
Yes,
which I think is the opposite of kind of what we're about here.
Anyone can be for anything. I think that's what we've been trying to say. And another thing, just a personal note, Rick and Morty is very existentialist.
Sure,
I'm not typically a fan of existentialism on the whole.
Yeah.
And so I feel like if you're really into Rick and Morty, you really start to waver into this territory of existentialism.
Yeah, sure.
And I can laugh at it. I can laugh at the fact that some things in life have no meaning, which I'll absolutely admit. Some things have no meaning.
Okay.
But I feel like if you live your life that way, you just become Rick.
You become numb.
Yeah, you become numb.
But I think the show does a decent job with balancing that kind of nihilism of Rick, who is he's the older character, he's the scientist, with a little bit more humanity of the other characters. So they may not be as... I would say other characters excluding Morty. Because there was that one scene where he says the thing to Summer when she's talking about the Rick and Morty that are buried dead in the backyard. Sure.
Where he's like, life is meaningless, we live, we die, and that's it.
Right.
And that's... existentialism.
That's pretty nihilist. Yeah. Well, I mean, Morty is essentially the viewer. He's kind of being...
I can see that.
He's being persuaded by Rick on one hand.
And if Rick's the one taking him on the adventures, Rick's the one taking us on the adventures.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay. And we're viewing all these worlds
see what you're saying.
Through new eyes, as Morty does. But yeah, I just think it does a good job balancing... those two sides, making a case that, which is kind of the opposite of how the fans take it, is that, there's Rick, he's very intellectual, he's very nihilist, whatever he says, while technically true, may not be the best way to live your life. You have all these people who are intellectually inferior, who live happier lives.
Yeah, look at Jerry. Jerry's considered the basic, plainest,
the bottom of the totem pole.
But Jerry is so happy. And there's that one episode in season 1 where Jerry has the best day ever with the milk ad, and he did nothing, and you feel so bad for him.
It was apples.
It was apples. Okay,
it was for apples.
But then you look at Rick, and he's the smartest person in the show.
Constantly
and he's
unhappy.
not happy.
Exactly.
He's so unhappy. And I feel like especially with nowadays, with the internet and with the way that the culture is going.
Oh boy, here we go.
Ooh,
here we go. Everyone,
about to rain.
You better listen up.
Listen up, friends. Getting close. I'm going to whisper. With the way that the internet is, I feel like not only is our preset mode to nihilism, especially being a Gen Zer, a millennial, things don't look great for us. You know, there are all these reports that come out that say, like, we're never going to own houses. Millennials will never own gold. But they will eat avocado toast and ass.
And that's all you need.
That's all you need. Avocado toast and ass. If you could have avocado ass, that's it. You're peak millennial. Congratulations. Like, I can't think of anything better as a Gen Zer. I'm a Gen Zer. I don't know about you. You know, the cutoff is 1995.
That's me. So I'm right in there.
There you go. You're right in there. I'm a Gen Zer. You're a millennial.
Yeah, my time is past.
You're a millennial.
I'm an old hat at this point.
You like avocado toast and ass. Mm-hmm. I like memes. Mm-hmm. Anyways, with how nihilistic we are, I feel like there is this drive for intellectualism, especially since a lot of people now are like pushing against academia. They're trying to find intellectual thought
through their own self-determinants.
Yeah, intellectual stimulation from outside sources on the internet. So like Joe Rogan, where a lot of people watch. I've seen a meme where it's like, you know, the one where it shows the expanding brain.
Yeah, there's 3 levels, and it's a basic thought, a neutral thought, and
the final one was fully like listening to Joe Rogan.
Fully enlightened, yeah.
You know, we're really pushing back against standard intellectualism. And so I feel like with Rick and Morty, there's this degree of like, well, I'm smart because I'm nihilistic and I laugh at the jokes. And I know for a fact I'm not the smartest guy in the world. I don't think I'm that smart inherently. I mean, maybe, perhaps. Academically, probably, but I don't think that's the best measure. Not in the world, but I think I'm like, academically pretty good.
Yeah, sure.
Anywho, but to see these, like, I don't want to say like fake academics, but these people who think that laughing at Rick and Morty make you a genius, it's just not right. You know what I mean?
Right.
You're not a genius.
It's for us. It's for the people. It's for.
Well, it's not only that. It's just like there's more stuff involved. You know.
Yeah. I mean, there's more to life than arguing over a cartoon.
Yeah.
I think everyone can understand that when we tend to get a little philosophic. So as we wax poetic, I beg your forgiveness.
Yes. And again, we are drinking.
We are drinking.
Heavily. Before we started, we had 2 pretty stout drinks. Mm-hmm. We're just trying to keep the ride going.
Trying to keep the ball rolling.
Keep the ball rolling with 2 pretty light drinks.
Trying to keep the ball, Justin Roiland. So now I want to introduce again, as I mentioned at the top of the show, this is written as a script, as you would submit a script to Hollywood. The name of the episode, Rick and Morty, is The Will to Showbiz.
Which is contrary to the typical Rick and Morty episode title.
Yeah, most of them are like a movie name with Rick's name.
For example, the woman Snowballs, a.k.a. Where My Testicles Summer, is called Lawnmower Rick.
Random insertion of Rick.
Based off of a Stephen King novel, my friend.
Oh, The Lawnmower, where the lawnmower is...
Lawnmower Man. But the movie has nothing to do with the book. It just has the same name.
I did read that short story. That's excellent.
Congrats.
I would recommend that someone goes out and reads that.
Yep.
So what we're going to do is we're going to read it straight through as kind of like a teleplay. It's kind of like a radio podcast.
I will be portraying the part of Mortensen.
Alex will be Morty Smith. I'm going to do...
Whoa. The last name is Smith?
I'm sorry, Sanchez. Oh, no, Jerry Smith
Smith
married Beth Sanchez and became Smith, yeah.
Richard Sanchez. So it's Morty Smith, Summer Smith.
Yep.
Rick Sanchez.
Exactly. So you are, Alex will be Morty Smith. I will
Dirty
be
Sanchez.
I'm sure Justin Roiland probably thought that was funny when he came up with it. And I'll be playing Rick. We'll do our best for the voices. Please excuse us. I personally think we're pretty good at the voices, but, excuse us for that.
Full disclosure, we might have been recording another podcast before this, and we're pretty stoked on voices at the moment.
We're fired up.
Yeah, we're pretty fired up.
Alex will also be playing the voice of Summer, and then if any other voices come up, we will decide them. We will decide them on the fly. So that being said, do you have anything else you want to say about Rick and Morty at large? I'll be reading the stage directions and everything and all the settings and things like that.
Sorry for throwing a beer bottle into a bag of other beer bottles.
I think that crack of the beer is all that needs to be said. So let's go ahead and
let's just get it.
Let's get it.
Let's just get it. Skeet tit. Real quick before we start, did you know that Justin Roiland almost didn't voice either character?
I did not know that.
Yes. Originally, he had to audition to be Mr. Mortensen.
Mm-hmm.
Morty. And he got the part. And then they wanted him to audition to be Rick. And they really didn't want him to do it. And he got it. So
the creator is also the voice of the two main characters of the show.
Yes. And also, Jerry, who is voiced by Chris Parnell, who used to be on SNL.
Fantastic.
He's perfect.
Fantastic bit actor, great.
If you've ever seen Lazy Sunday with The Lonely Island.
Andy Samberg, he's the other rapper.
He actually does one take and that's it. He's perfect. Chris Parnell is such a pro, they do more than one take just because they're kind of obligated to. But the first take is perfect.
Shout out Chris Parnell.
Yeah.
Friend of the cast.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
I would love to be friends with Chris Parnell.
All right. So here we go.
Let's just get it.
Let's get it. The fan, of course, Rick and Morty. The title, The Will to Showbiz. We open on the interior of the Smith household, Morty's room, during the day. Morty is cleaning his room. Rick enters. He has been looking for him. Oh, great, Morty. You're here.
Oh, hey, Rick.
Hey, buddy. I gotta show you something really neat. It's a spectacle like nothing you've ever seen before. He checks his watch. Well, we gotta get going. As in now. Otherwise, we'll lose it.
I can't, Rick. Dad, Summer, and I are going to the park today.
Ugh. Stupid Jerry. Constant inconvenient. Rick comes closer and puts his hand on Morty's shoulder. Morty, you really can't miss this. This is really something special, Morty. Tell Summer to deal with Jerry on her own in a hurry.
I don't know, Rick. My dad is waiting on me and all.
Don't worry about your dad, Morty. You'll make it up to him later. The park is boring anyways. Now come, before we miss our window.
What window?
Of time. This special thing I want to show you. It happens once every year, Morty. It is in Dorpenzelp. Their gravitational pulse is different from ours, Morty. Every year is 15 over there. It's quantum physics, Morty. Haven't you seen Interstellar? It's the same principle. Now go tell Summer. She'll have to deal with your dad solo. Interior of the Smith household. The dinner room. Summer eats a bowl of cereal while typing on her smartphone, entertained. Morty walks in.
Hey, Summer. I can't go with you today.
She is pissed.
No way, Morty. You promised me you would come. Yeah, well, Rick said,
He scratches his neck.
He said he needs me for a thing, and I have to help him. That's not fair. Dad's been too clingy since the divorce. I don't want to put up with him alone. Oh, geez, Summer. You don't have to be so blunt. You know,
Rick walks in. Are you ready, Morty?
Yeah.
Good.
Rick, you can't do whatever it is you have to do on your own.
Too late. I already bought our tickets. And if there's one thing Dorpelzonians we all know, is that they don't give refunds.
What?
Rick walks away, but not before dismissing her. Don't be selfish, Summer. Me and Morty, we take Jerry away from you plenty of times. Just do us solid and try to keep your complaining to a minimum. He takes his portal gun out. Summer surrenders, speechless. Morty smiles. Come on, Morty. We have places to be. He opens up a portal. Rick walks into it, followed by Morty. Exterior, planet, Dorpenzelp, day. Rick and Morty step out of a portal. Morty is taken by surprise with how shiny and pretty everything in this world looks. Here we are, Morty. Oh, yeah. This is so exciting. Get ready to have your socks blown, son.
Oh, boy. I sure am ready, Rick. This place looks great. You were right. I had to see this.
Oh, wait until you see the best part. He takes a sip from his flask. You won't believe your eyes, Morty. Morty smiles. Rick looks around. After a brief beat, he senses something is off. Rick scratching his chin. This is strange.
What's the matter, Rick?
Nothing. Hey, Morty, is today Thursday?
No, Rick.
Well, what day is it?
It's Tuesday.
Oh, damn. I screwed the pooch. Thought today was Thursday. We came too early, Morty. A month too early.
Is this a thing you want to show me? Seasonal or something?
It's better than seasonal. It's a once every 15 years event, Morty. Lucky us. We get one every 12 months. He looks at a big screen on the side of a building, showing the news channel. Sandy crosswork. Screen, news channel. On the screen, two Dorpelzonians host the news. They look similar to humans, but their skin is red and their eyeballs are green. The news is presented in this very exciting and accelerated way, almost like a comical, constantly trying to keep us hooked.
You know, Sandy, we know, Sandy. Our latest poll puts Sandy Crosswork, the presidential pop singer candidate, ahead of actor-celebrity Von Pitcher Schmoo, who promised to release a new movie if elected.
You know, Steve, I'm voting for Sandy. But don't let me persuade you. The hosts laugh. They sound genuine, but their laugh is false.
I won't. I know I won't, Susan. And don't forget to vote for your favorite candidate. 1 month left, and we'll know if we're getting a new movie or a new pop album.
External planet, Dorpenzelp, continuous. Rick. Not good. Pause real quick. So what do you think so far?
So far, I mean, the thing about Rick and Morty is that it's pretty boundless. There are absolutely no caps on the places that Rick and Morty can go.
Abstract things, yep.
Yeah, for example, my favorite part of Rick and Morty is, I couldn't tell you the episode at this moment, but the one where they're jumping through the living room and the people are ordering the pizza on the telephone. On the couch. They're sitting on the couch ordering a pizza through the telephone.
Is this an interdimensional cable episode?
Yes! And then it's like two pizzas sitting on people ordering phones from couches. Such a good episode.
I probably should have put a disclaimer. Let's put a disclaimer at the beginning of this episode. You, the listener, have a little drink if you want to. You should also be drunk enjoying this.
We will be drinking a lot.
Unless you're, under the age of consent.
Underage. If you're under 18... Or under 21.
Under 18.
Oh, fuck me. If you're under 21, please do as I did and do not consume any alcohol until the age of 21.
You were good about that.
I really did not.
Frustratingly good about that. Yeah. Frustrating.
For all my friends in college, frustratingly good about that.
You know, I think this is interesting because we stumble on a world that has two like, pop culture figures running for president, and it's like, if we win, are we going to get a movie? Or are we going to get a pop album? Who are you going to please? What do you like?
It's kind of like Idiocracy. That's a good movie.
That is a great movie.
And that's the one movie that everyone's like, this country is turning into Idiocracy. Donald Trump's the president. It's Idiocracy.
For people who watch movies, the country is turning into Idiocracy. For people who read books, it's turning into 1984.
I disagree with that, but okay.
Triggered. That's what people say.
I'm not triggered. I don't... The only trigger I'm pulling is that of a gat. Okay.
Okay, fantastic.
That was kind of a Justin Roiland-esque thing to say.
All right, so we're back into it. We've just completed the scene with the screen and Susan and Steve.
Let's get it.
Interior, Jerry's apartment, kitchen. Jerry is looking...
Wait, real quick. I'm actually not caught up. Are they legit divorced?
Yeah, they're divorced.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they're divorced.
Spoiler alert.
Sorry, this might spoil. Everyone is up to date on season 3.
I'm not.
You'll know. So we're on Jerry's apartment kitchen. Jerry is looking for a mug. He frantically...
Frantically?
That's all right. He frantically...
Phonetically?
He phonetically checks all drawers but cannot find it.
Oh, where is it?
The doorbell rings. Jerry stops his search and walks to the door. We're now at the interior of Jerry's apartment. The entrance, the door opens, and Summer comes in, her eyes fixed on her smartphone.
Hi, Dad. Hey, sweetie.
He's glad to see her. Summer walks by her father and into the small living room. We're now at the living room. Looking at the kitchen, Summer notices many drawers are open. As a matter of fact, the whole apartment is disorganized.
What happened here? I'm looking for my mug. Aren't all mugs here yours? Yeah, but one's dear to me. I'm not even going to ask.
She ignores the mess and resumes her deep interaction with her smartphone.
Where's Morty? He had to help Grandpa Rick with an assignment and dorp on something.
Jerry is slightly disappointed.
Hey, Dad, since it's only the two of us, could we not go to the park? Instead, go to the mall? I guess we could do that. Yeah, sure, why not? Thanks.
Jerry smiles, happy and proud. We now turn to the external shot on the planet of Dorpenzelp. That's the sidewalk during the day. Rick walks along the sidewalk. Morty follows him, puzzled.
It's pretty weird that this Dorpenzelpians have celebrities running for president, huh, Rick?
You would be surprised how much showbiz there is in politics, Morty. The whole lunar race has basically a dick measuring contest.
And what was that about either getting a new movie or a new pop album?
That's why we're here, Morty. Dorpelzenians. They love their entertainment. They choose their leaders of who offers the most exciting entertainment thing, Morty.
Oh, jeez, Rick. That doesn't seem very wise, you know.
To each his own, Morty.
Oh, so we're here to see that Vaughn guy's movie?
You bet your ass we are.
And what if that Sandy lady wins?
Oh, good thinking, Morty. I was worried about that too. But then I thought, since we're here, we might as well make sure she doesn't.
Oh, jeez.
Not far ahead, on a street corner, there is a campaigner trying to charm the passing crowd, asking for support for his third-party candidate. There is a small group of Dorpelzanians near an improvised stage. Morty notices the campaigner. He walks closer to him as he can listen to what is being said. As he arrives, the campaigner announces, I'll be the campaigner. Now, put your hands together for Zizump Slinton. The campaigner hurt my throat. From behind a curtain comes Zizump Slinton. I'll be Zizump. I'll be Zizump. You want to be Zizump? Okay. He waves, but the crowd is unimpressed. I feel like I know where you're going with this.
Friends, comrades, thank you. Thank you for joining me this afternoon. I'm Zizump Slinton, and it would be my great pleasure to help you help yourselves.
Who is this character? Thinks Morty.
We can't ignore the poverty and the sorrow hanging above our heads. We must become corrupt, and we must change. Change for better, my dear friends. Change for better.
Perhaps there is hope. Morty calls for Rick.
Hey, Rick. This guy seems to have some good ideas.
Pass. He's just another pseudo-intellectual too obsessed with his own ideas to point out the thing that we all want. You gotta be careful, Morty. These guys like him are always looking for a new way to screw you. Zizump speaks directly to Rick.
Oh, you friend. Are you happy?
Happiness is overrated. Zizump chuckles cordially.
Where are you from?
A miserable planet called None of Your Business. Morty intervenes.
Don't mind him, Mr. Slinton. My grandpa can't help but to be rude at all times.
Hey, it's not my fault that this ring pop is snooping around, Morty.
A ring pop?
Oh, that's a zing. Indeed, Dorpelzonians' heads are shaped like a ring pop. A few of the crowd members scatter away.
You're a brave young man, aren't you, Morty?
Morty is radiant, hearing this question. Careful.
Let us be more like our young friend.
Zizump's campaigners begin to clap euphorically. The remaining attendees clap uncomfortably. Slow claps, half confused.
You're running for president? That I am. And you're not offering entertainment? I'm afraid not.
Zizump's campaigner intervenes. Mr. Slinton is actually trying to make things better. He is.
Hey, Rick. What do you say we help this guy out instead? He might be a better choice for president, you know.
That's horrible thinking, Morty. These guys are all the same. They ramble and end up killing millions because of their idiosyncrasies.
Hey, don't be like that, Rick. Maybe he's actually good.
But think about their motives, Morty. They mastered the art of entertainment. They can't help it, Morty. In Vaughn's motives, they talk them all, Morty. They're missing a spectacle here. A spectacle. Ask Zompop.
No, that doesn't matter, Rick. This is kangaroo democracy, Rick. We gotta do something, don't we? At least get their attention.
All right, Morty. We'll play Che Guevara. If that means so much to you. Morty is glad.
Hey, Mr. Slinton. What do you say we help you out with your campaign? All help is good help, my friend. I gotta say, so far, it doesn't seem like it's not an episode of Rick and Morty. You know what I mean?
It may not be like that's hilarious.
Yeah.
It's definitely it's getting in there. There's a lot of commentary.
If it was a real episode of Rick and Morty, there would have been like 4 or 5 belly laughs by now.
Sure.
But I don't think it's not an episode of Rick and Morty.
Absolutely.
You can definitely tell a fan wrote this thinking they knew Rick and Morty pretty well.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I don't think anybody who kind of ventures out into the world of Rick and Morty fanfic doesn't at least understand the source material.
Well, of course. But I mean, like, they almost feel like they know it well enough to write it. I don't know it well enough to write it because I'm not up to date on it.
I think it's an interesting exercise if someone who's aspiring to be a writer really looks up to someone. Kind of by doing a fan fiction, you can dissect the components of it and maybe hope to emulate it.
And it's also pretty notable to note that a script is very different than not a play. My God, a script is very different than a book or a short story. Yeah, they're very different things. Mm-hmm. So this is a script. This is the first time we've done one.
For the listeners who haven't been paying attention, this is a script.
Fuck you.
All right. So next we have a campaign montage. Rick and Morty distributing pamphlets on the street. They're now trying to help Zizump win the election because he's pure. He's not an entertainer.
He's a good guy.
He's a good guy. Slick Zizump. And now Rick and Morty are on a bridge. A spy approaches them and hands Morty an envelope with quote-unquote dirty documents of the opposing party. Now Rick and Morty are torturing a Dorpenzalian prisoner for information. Rick speaking to the prisoner. Tell us who these featuring artists are.
Real quick, I just want to intervene. So, do we know what this thing is Rick wanted Morty to see?
What's that?
The thing that Rick wanted Morty to see.
Oh yeah, I mean Rick is talking about. You know what I imagine
is it the election?
I don't think. I think that may be revealed at the end.
Okay,
let's wait until the end.
That's fine. I'm sorry to interrupt.
He did take them. He missed. His calendar was missing.
I apologize. I'm so sorry. I apologize.
He's apologized. Do you want to be the prisoner?
You can be prisoner since I was.
I don't know. So they're torturing a prisoner, and then Rick punches his face.
Oh, fuck.
So now we're on the interior of the news broadcasting office. Remember Steve and Susan, the two anchors? The morning show with Steve and Susan is live, and Zizump is their next guest. Rick and Morty walk in. They are off stage, watching from afar as the show is being made. Morty is well invested in Zizump's campaign. He looks worn out, but confident. The show goes to a commercial break.
This is going pretty well. Oh, Rick.
Don't pop your zits yet, Morty. Steve and Susan, the lively hosts of the channel, whom we have seen previously, chit-chat with Zizump before the cameras roll.
You know, I think we have a shot at winning the whole shebang.
Christ, Morty, have a little Dissociation. The morning show with Steve and Susan is about to continue. The broadcaster supervisor shouts,
"All right, everybody, shut up!"
Crickets. The morning show with Steve and Susan. The morning show with Steve and Susan. Intro. The show's logo fades out, and our hosts welcome us back with a big smile. And we're back. With us, we have candidate Zizump Slinton, who joined us this morning for us to get to know him a little better. We get a sense that this is their catchphrase. They giggle after.
Oh, welcome, Zizump. I am happy to be here.
So, politics. Is that something we need? The audience laughs.
I believe so. Oh, quick question. Oh, what's your favorite celebrity?
A loud bang surprises everyone. Zizump screams in agony.
Ah!
He was shot.
Oh my God, no!
Everyone but Rick freaks out. The audience scatters afraid. Security rushes in. The shooter is a member of the audience. Two security guards point their pistols at the shooter. Halt! The shooter looks at Zizump, then he shoots himself.
Whoa.
His body falls lifeless. Morty runs to Zizump and kneels next to him. His hero is suffering. Morty holds Zizump's head and looks up at Rick.
Oh, how could this happen?
It was to be expected, Morty. I mean, Zizump is a revolutionary candidate. And just so you know, major parties don't necessarily play fair.
Oh, jeez, Rick, I don't think something like this could happen.
Zizump is gushing out blood in pain, crying. The assistant says, "He's losing so much blood!"
Rick, can you help him, please?
Whoa, you think I can carry out some miraculous cure to internal bleedings everywhere I go? I mean, I'm not Mary Poppins, Morty.
He takes his hand. He puts his hand into his pocket.
Luckily, I'm the next best thing.
He pulls a small spray bottle out of his pocket. Rick bends down and sprays Zizump's wounds.
There, that should delay the bleeding until he gets to a hospital.
We're on the interior of the Smith household. So now, after all of that, we're going back to the Smith residence.
We're back on Earth.
I think this parallels a Rick and Morty episode well. Thank you. That's my rebuttal.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have two storylines. Thank you. You get the final word. Fantastic. We have two storylines, an A and B storyline. That's very typical.
That's how a TV show works.
That's typical of a TV show.
Any TV show.
And a Rick and Morty episode specifically how it goes.
Specifically, syphilis.
All right, so now we're at the interior of the Smith household. We're in the kitchen, and we have Beth and Davin enjoying a good conversation by the cooking table.
Who's Davin?
Who is
seriously? Who
Davin?
Is he in this show, or is he an OC? Is he an original character? That's a good question. Who is Davin?
Oh, real quick,
Davin was a new member of the Smith household.
All right, Joe. Okay, so Beth, we need to determine who's going to be. Okay, so if you'll remember,
You're already Beth, by the way.
I'm Beth. Okay, so if you'll remember from the episode season 1, episode 6, Rick Potion number 9.
Yeah.
For the viewer who hasn't seen the episode, it's a story in which Beth, who's a veterinarian, is spending a
No. She's a horse surgeon.
She's a horse surgeon. Is spending a long night on a particular surgery with a dashing veterinarian's assistant named Davin.
He's been in the show a couple times.
He has been in the show a couple times. You want to be Davin? You want to be Davin? I'll be Beth. So Davin is kind of like, he's a sexy young love interest of Beth, who is constantly kind of fighting for her affections, even though she's married to Jerry.
I'm going to play Davin.
You'll be Davin.
As I would play...
What are your motivations for Davin?
Well, have you ever seen Scrubs?
Yeah.
Who does Elliot date, the younger guy? What's his name?
Younger guy?
Yeah. Keith.
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 Okay.
So I'm going to play Davin such as one would play Keith.
So for all
because the lady who voices Beth also voices Elliot.
Are you
in
kidding me?
Scrubs.
Are you kidding me?
Are you serious? You didn't know
I
that?
did not know that.
You're lying to me.
I seriously did not know that.
That's the same lady. I can't remember what her name is right now. I can look it up.
I know this is an audible format, and as you can tell, this is an audible format, and you can't see, but I am literally freaking out right now.
What's her name? Did you really not know that?
She's also in Friends from College on Netflix.
She is in Friends with a College.
Friends from College, yeah.
All right, give me a second. I'm looking it up.
We want to give her a fair due.
So Sarah Chalk.
Sarah Chalk.
She also plays Beth. She's Elliot in Scrubs and Beth in Rick and Morty.
Wow.
So I'm going to play Keith. I'm sorry. I'm going to play Davin.
Davin.
Such as one would play Keith, who is also in Whiskey Tango.
Whiskey Tango.
Yes. He's the main character.
If anybody watched
with Maggie from The Walking Dead.
Yeah, if anybody watched the Oscars, you're very familiar with Whiskey Tango because it was like...
I did not watch the Oscars.
All right, and ladies and gentlemen, that was our Oscars segment. That's blowing my mind right now. Beth, mother of Rick and Morty at this point.
No. Mother of Rick, daughter of Morty.
Thank you.
No, fuck! Mother of Morty, daughter of Rick.
Thank you so much. And she's married to Jerry, who is also
they get a divorce.
Who is also they also have
Paraplegic.
Yep, they gave birth this summer.
He's not a paraplegic. I'm lying.
Okay, and Jerry is her husband. At this point, they are divorced.
Yes.
So now we're cutting there. So Beth and Davin,
yes,
enjoy a good conversation by the cooking table. Who knows what that is? Each with a glass of red wine in hand.
Nice.
Davin takes a sip from his wine and decides to make a move on Beth.
Beth, have you ever seen two horses make love?
Beth is slightly grossed out by this question. Nevertheless, she carries on. Excuse my Sarah Chalk impression.
It's fine.
Because it doesn't exist. I can't say I have, no.
Oh, it's wonderful. So tender. So precious. The way they friction their bodies against each other. Nah. It changed me as a man.
Sounds interesting. Davin promptly takes his smartphone out.
Here, I can show you.
Davin is not very smooth. Summer walks by. The thought of Davin with her mother is nauseating to her teenage existence, and so she walks out, containing her opinion. Beth follows her while Davin searches for whatever he is searching for on his smartphone. Now we cut to the interior of the Smith household entrance. Beth catches Summer before she goes upstairs. Hey, Summer.
What?
I wanted to know how you are.
I'll be fine once I get into my room.
And, how's Jerry?
Dad has lost it. I found him looking for some mug when he had like 3 on the counter.
Oh.
I told him to buy a new one, but he got all weird and said it doesn't work like that.
This, however, rings a happy bell in Beth's heart.
Can I go now?
Beth nods, approving. Summer climbs the stair. Beth takes a sip from her wine, pondering. We're on the interior of the hospital. This is Zizump's room during the day. Dorpenzalian doctor takes an injured Zizump lying in bed, and he asks him what has happened to him. Your liver has ruptured. You lost a substantial amount of blood.
Is the doctor Barack Obama?
So what I'm channeling right now is the doctor from SpongeBob.
Barack Obama.
Barack Obama.
Illuminati confirmed.
All right, here comes my best Obama impersonation. Your liver was ruptured. You lost a substantial amount of blood. Fortunately, we've managed to regenerate your liver's tissue, and you should be walking in about a week. I say unfortunately because had your bleeding not been stagnated, and we wouldn't have had any time to intervene. Everyone is relieved. In fact, if it wasn't for your family's intervention, by now, you would have been dead. Zizump looks at Rick gratefully.
Thank you, Rick.
Whatever. I'm gonna watch the news. Maybe I'll hear something that's actually new.
He walks out of frame and towards the hospital's lobby. Sandy Crosswork walks in. She looks like a sexist's wet dream with a tight waist and large cleavage.
Nice.
A futile celebrity seeming nice. Following her are two cameramen with cameras in hand, impatiently looking for good angles to shoot Sandy's existence from. Zizump is surprised to see Sandy, but Morty is mesmerized, his hormones jumping.
Oh, thanks, Zorpoid. You're okay.
I'm sorry, I got. She walks up to Zizump and puts her hand on top of his.
I hope you don't mind me coming by, but I got so worried I just had to. Worried about me? Yes, it just breaks my heart to see such a kind person suffering.
She looks at the camera, aware of the public opinion. Sandy faces Morty.
You must be Morty. I've heard a lot of good things about you. You have?
She caresses his face. Morty is in awe.
Sure did.
For the next scene, your inspiration for Zizump is...
For Zizump?
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you listen to episode 7...
Good plug.
...of Suck My Fanfic, we do cover PewDiePie's majestic adventure.
Of course.
But we also cover Holes,
which is a
fanfic, which is a crossover between Bill Clinton and SpongeBob.
So Zizump is...
They're sexual lovers.
They're sexually connected. And Zizump is inspired by...
Bill Clinton.
So Sandy is inspired by...
some Southern Belle. I just kind of threw that together.
Yeah. Monica Lewinsky.
Monica Lewinsky. Sorry. He shoved a cigar. Should I finish that sentence?
No. Just to be fair, it wouldn't be a podcast if we didn't reference the Monica Lewinsky scandal.
Yes.
All right, so now we are on... and also Sandy, is the spouse of...
Yeah.
So how you feeling? Just real quick, how you feeling at this point? Just give a quick summary. How you
What do you mean in general?
Are you engrossed in the narrative? Do you think it's dumb?
I mean, I'm not caught up with Rick and Morty, so I definitely don't know all of the lore. However, I think it's good.
Yeah,
I don't think it's bad.
We're right in there.
Yeah.
So now our next scene is on the interior of the hospital. It's the lobby. All seems peaceful. Rick gets a soda from the vending machine. Then he walks over to a row of chairs and sits down. He opens his soda. Rick is about to take his first sip, but a large explosion by the elevator makes him spill his soda. A dozen Dorpelzanian terrorists storm in.
Oh my god.
Well armed to finish up Zizump's assassination. 5 security guards open forward and move forward and draw their guns. And there's a shootout that ensues. He should have opened that. It would have been good Foley work if you had opened that when I said Rick opened his soda.
That was too late.
That's how you know this is off the cuff, ladies and gentlemen.
I really wasn't paying that good of attention.
Do you know what happened? TLDR, do I need to update you?
No, I got it.
Okay.
Terrorists...
Coming to finish the job.
Rick is fighting them. Zizump is about to die. Quick question. Why are they trying to get rid of Zizump? If he's a third-party candidate, it doesn't matter. What's the big deal?
Let's read on.
He's not even an entertainer.
Okay, so in the interior of the hospital, we're in Zizump's room. Panic has taken over. We hear screams and bullets being shot. Sandy is frightened while Morty is unshaken. Mortensen is unshaken. We begin with Sandy. You got to do a lot of voice work, my friend.
What do we do?
That's Sandy.
You two must go. Get out of here. I'm the only one they're after. No, we must stick together. We're safer that way. You must. I couldn't bear to have the blood of others spilled because of me.
Sandy is moved. She takes her hand to her chest.
Oh, that's noble.
Morty, however, is about to take action. He walks towards the door.
What are you doing? I'm going to get Rick. He'll know how to get us out here safe.
Zizump looks like a proud father. Morty's courage is admirable, he thinks.
Oh, close the door after I leave. And if someone knocks, ask who it is before you open.
Morty rushes out. Interior of the hospital, the lobby. Chaos reigns. Bullets rain in every direction. Awaiting patient. Thank you. Awaiting patient complaining about. Would you like a rebuttal?
What?
A waiting patient complaining about his arm gets shot in his arm. A guard drops dead. 4 doppelzanians jump on a quote-unquote terrorist while a bullet perforates his eyeball. Morty gets to Rick.
Are they also from the Doppelzanian Middle East, or is this different?
What's the... Wait, why?
Are the terrorists from the Doppelzanian Middle East?
Let's find out. I think the Doppelzanian terrorists are actually part of the government trying to keep order.
Wow.
But let us read on and let the author let their world
I just
unfold.
want to point out that I, Alex, have not read this, so this is new to me.
And I would like to point out that I, Ryan, as an irresponsible host, have also not read this.
Oh, Rick!
All right, so Morty gets to Rick.
Oh, Rick!
Oh, good, Morty, you're fine. I thought you might have blown up or something.
Rick, we gotta do something.
You're right, Morty. They made me spill my soda, Morty. No one makes me spill my soda and gets away with it.
What? No! They came to kill Zism.
I don't know, Morty. I've had people go to great lengths to make me spill something.
Rick, be serious for a minute.
All right, Morty, just chillio.
Naturally, Rick grabs a gun from the floor and hands it to Morty.
Here, go kill your friend while I squanch. Go guard your friend while I squanch these fools.
That was a very important distinction.
Yeah.
I would like to do that again. Naturally, Rick grabs a gun from the floor and hands it to Morty.
Here, go guard your friend while I squanch these fools.
Who's Squanchy? Isn't Squanchy a character?
Squanchy is a character, but squanch is also like an ambivalent verb that could mean anything.
It's like Smurf. It's like I squanched down at the squanch last night.
Hey, Rick, you got a place where I can squanch around here?
I'm trying to squanch.
So whatever that means, and he's going to squanch these fools.
I think it means.
Morty nods and heads back to Zizum's room. Rick draws his laser gun and begins dealing with the terrorist. He has a start. He's a great start with a wonderful headshot.
Oh yeah, spill that motherfucker!
This is pretty true to a Rick and Morty episode. There's some violence. There's some.
I love in episode 1 how he's like, just shoot him, Morty. They're robots. And then Morty shoots the one guy and he goes, oh no, tell my wife and kids I love them.
That's so fantastic.
I love that episode.
If anyone's interested, there's a good deal of Rick and Morty fan fiction on YouTube where they do short skits.
Really?
It's funny and interesting that you mentioned that scene. There's a fantastic fan fiction where they shoot that character, and then they proceed to show that character's entire life. I highly recommend it.
God damn it!
It has over 1 million views.
Are you playing it right now?
No, I'm not playing it right now.
Okay.
Let's see if I can find it real quick. You'll edit this all out in post, but I highly recommend it.
I'm not editing it out.
We're just going to post this as is. This is live. I apologize to the studio audience.
Sorry, live studio audience.
This has been a little sloppy. They're drinking too. It's all good.
We have personally given each one of them 4 Michelob Ultras.
Michelob Ultra.
Michelob Ultra.
Do the do. Michelob Ultra.
Do the do. Pepsi, we've solved all of your social justice problems with Kendall Jenner.
So yeah, we've given them all alcohol and they're fine. But I recommend you go on YouTube and you look at there's some really good animation work that's done.
Really?
Yeah, it's good. I'll send it to Alex and maybe we can
I'll post it on Twitter.
Maybe let's retweet it. It's fantastic.
We should tweet that because we have over 100 followers now.
Yeah, we'll get that at the end. So yeah, this is true to a Rick and Morty episode, and that's fantastic. So now we're at the interior of the Smith household. We're cutting. It's like a smash cut away from the violence to the kitchen. of the Smith household where Davin and Beth are. Davin has left, and Beth is washing the used glasses before bed. Done washing, she dries them with a towel. She opens the cabinet above her head and puts the glasses on a shelf. Beth notices a Grand Canyon souvenir mug, green, behind other cups. Immediately, she knows this is the mug that Jerry is looking for. In an act of kindness, she reaches for it and takes it out of the cabinet. With the mug in her hands, she ponders, I'm going to regret this. Cut back, interior of the hospital lobby during the day. 3 terrorists are left. Rick manages to kill one, while the remaining 2 shoot back, hitting Rick's laser gun. You got a question?
Zam.
Thank you. His laser gun, yeah, that is Zam. It's pretty emotional.
Zam, Zaddy.
All right. His laser gun falls to the floor. Rick has been effectively disarmed.
Shit.
He runs for cover and finds it behind the front desk. He finds his gun again behind the front desk. Bullets are making holes in the desk. Rick is cornered by 2 gun-blazing killers. He looks around for a solution. Then, rather quickly, Rick builds an adapter for his portal gun and attaches it to his rectangular barrel. He leaps to his left and shoots his portal gun. The adapter divides the portal gun's blast in 2. 2 portals open underneath of Rick's enemies. They fall through the portals and into different dimensions.
Are you not going to read?
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is pretty cool. Yeah. No, I mean, that's. Has it ever been done in Rick and Morty?
Not to my knowledge.
It's pretty neat. That's a pretty cool idea.
We're now in the interior of the hospital, back in Zizump's room. Sandy hides behind the side of Zizump's bed.
This is insane. Who could be so cruel as to want us dead? Not me, Sandy. Oh, not us, Sandy. Me. Oh, I bet Vaughn is behind this. We can't be so imprudent as to rely on assumptions. Why don't you just drop out of the election? If you did so, they would probably spare you, don't you think? I appreciate your worries, Sandy, but I can't do such a thing. I'm a man of conviction, and so, what will be, will be.
I just want to say Vaughn Pitchermisu, again, one of the candidates for president, one of the popular candidates for president. His reply seems to have annoyed Sandy. Suddenly, a grenade blows the door up along with the 2 cameramen. They're gone. A terrorist runs in, ready to kill. Allahu Akbar. There is a beat. Bang! Morty shoots the terrorist from behind. He falls forward on his chest. Morty rushes in, worried.
Are you okay?
They are. Sandy looks disappointed, a subtle expression, one she quickly hides. Morty looks at the dead terrorist.
Oh, man. These guys are really serious about killing you, huh? It's just like everywhere else.
Sandy rolls her eyes. She pulls a pistol from underneath her voluptuous hairdo and aims it at Morty.
Holy fuck. Oh, what are you doing? Winning. You can't do this. Are you telling me what I can and can't do? Do you think I'm in some way incapable because I have a vagina? What? No. I didn't mean it like that. You're a fool if you think I'm willing to risk my fame for some silly man's ideas. Oh, really? Do you only care about yourself? It's not like the most important being in the universe, you know. Maybe you could allow someone else to have a say. Oh, spare me, kid. You really think he wants what's best for people? He wants what's best for him, just like everybody else. At least I provide entertainment, which is far more than what he would.
Zizump smirks at this.
And here I was, questioning my mattering. No need to question it, sweetheart. You don't. You're just a phase. I matter, not you. Oh, let him live then. Don't let Dorn Puncelins decide my fate, please. You can't trust people, Morty. I suppose there's a I suppose that's where we differ. Is that an assumptionsism? We can't be so imprudent as to rely on assumptions, remember?
She smiles malevolently.
Ryan just stole my beer.
The holder of truth.
After all, if you were so different, so willing to trust others, you wouldn't try to change a thing.
Morty becomes aware that despite his intentions, Zizhump might very well not be much better than Sandy.
Excuse me, as I take charge.
Triumphantly, Sandy aims at Zizhump. Before she shoots him, Rick shoots her. Sandy drops dead to the shock of both Morty and Zizhump.
Jeez, what an egotistical princess.
That's why I'm hard.
That's fine.
As usual, Rick looks numb, while the rest process his act.
You know, I usually try to keep myself away from situations such as this, but I actually think I made this world a great favor this time around. I feel good about it. You guys will be way better off without her music.
He looks at Zizhump.
And, I don't want to say it, but you could thank me, you know. Or you could maybe quit so my grandson and I can enjoy what we came here for.
Morty looks at Rick in a disapproving manner.
I'm just saying, I would be highly appreciative if he did that. It's not like he can, in good conscience, run anymore.
We're on the interior of Jerry's apartment, on the entrance. The doorbell rings. Jerry opens up. A mailman stands in front of him.
Jerry Smith?
Speaking.
Yeah, that's a phone thing, buddy. You don't say that face to face.
Oh.
This is for you. He hands a package to Jerry. Just sign here. Thank you. He then turns his tablet to Jerry so he can electronically sign for his package. Jerry does so. Okay, have a good day. The mailman turns around and leaves. Jerry closes the door curious. He opens the package. Wrapped in bubble wrap, he finds his missing mug. A Grand Canyon souvenir.
I just want to say I am a Beth and Rick... not Beth and Rick. Beth and Jerry shipper.
If you were a Beth and Rick shipper, you wouldn't be the first. Check out Archive of Our Own.
That's so gross. I'm a Beth and Jerry shipper, please.
He turns the mug upside down, revealing a sentence engraved on the bottom. Jerry and Beth survived the Grand Canyon. Hopeful. He smiles.
That's sweet as shit.
Interior of Smith's household garage. So this is back...
That is Rick's workshop.
This is Rick's
That's
workshop.
where he turns himself into a Pickle Morty. I'm Pickle Rick.
Pickle Rick, yeah. A portal opens up. From it comes Rick and Morty, both wearing T-shirts and accessories prompting Von's electoral movie.
Oh.
Von Pitchermushu, or whatever his name is, yeah.
So what did you think, Morty? Amazing spectacle, right?
Yeah, Rick, it was pretty cool, but you know, I'm still a little shook up with what happened. It's really hard to believe that after all that, people could choose Vaughn over Zizhump.
It's like they say, Morty, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Hey, at least we got to shoot a couple of bad guys, including that Sandy character.
Morty smiles, but his smile's a little empty. Rick notices this and is sympathetic.
I bet she catchphrased after she pulled her gun on you, huh?
It was more of a catchword. She said, winning.
Oh, wow. How unique. Oh, hey, Morty. Ask me what I think she was.
What do you think she was?
Dumb.
Morty's smile is a little brighter. End of episode. So there you go. There you have it. That's the end of... the fan fiction script. It's called The Will to Showbiz. So what do you think?
I think that someone that doesn't have a better grasp on things was like, Donald Trump is a reality TV star, and this is what it could be like if we elected a reality TV star. So I'm going to make a planet where they only re-elect reality TV stars.
First and foremost, we did elect a reality TV star, and
you're right.
And I think that's something that
I didn't vote for him.
That's something, and I think
I did not vote for him.
Congratulations,
thank you.
And I think that it's interesting that they go to this, and that's something that Rick and Morty would do.
Zism.
They would explore this like extreme, where everyone goes, and then it is also like Rick and Morty to at the end have Zism's campaign, which is at first like purely pure and political, third party, pure and political, be about fame as well.
Yes,
exactly. So that's the end of it. I mean, what are your takeaways?
Okay, so our 5 compliments go.
I think that this did a good job in terms of capturing that cut back and forth between an A and B plotline that Rick and Morty often does.
It did a good job with with Morty.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Rick sat out a lot of the show. It's hard to write Rick because there's a little bit of intimidation there.
So weird.
He's so weird. He comes out of left field. Solid job writing. Like you said, Morty, and
I feel like there's more to Summer. Like Summer isn't just a one-dimensional character.
Yeah, we'll say
that's how she was written in this.
We'll say that for the criticisms.
Yeah.
The second thing I would say that's really good about this episode is they are this script. Thank you. Is that they introduced? They had a really good idea for like names. Dorpelzanian sounds like something that would be on the show.
Absolutely.
And the Zizump and Sandy, like, and the idea of having like
Zizump Slinton,
and the idea of having like a broadcast and a political intrigue, like that's a really good idea. I like that.
Absolutely.
I like that a lot. And just that I want to say, I don't know, I highly recommend you go and read this Rick and Morty.
Well, how would I find it, Ryan?
I would first and foremost I would go and Google quote the will to showbiz. It's a Rick and Morty fan fiction. Go and read it.
What platform?
What platform?
Yes. What platform?
Yeah, that's fun here. We don't tweet out like the fucking...
What platform?
Google, right? What?
Is it on Wattpad? Is it on...
Oh, I'm sorry. This is actually... I found this independently through Reddit.
Oh!
So it's
Did this person actually submit this to Rick and Morty?
I like to think so, and I hope they do.
This is nowhere near as good as a Rick and Morty episode. I'm sorry, author. I think it could have been better. Funny enough.
A good concept. I think they can take it and run with it.
If you could add the comedy, I'd agree. It's just like a Rick and Morty episode.
Right.
If there's no comedy, no.
That's fair. That's a fair assessment. I just think in terms of like the structure of writing a screenplay, they did a good job. They set the stage. I knew where things were happening. I knew what characters were involved.
Yes.
That's presentation is 90% of the battle, right? So I'll give them kudos for that.
Kudos, my friend.
Kudos. In archive of our own terms. Kudos. What else? You have another fair shake of the show before we get into the criticism?
So a compliment or a criticism is what you're asking.
Before we get into the criticism, you got another compliment?
Oh,
we'll go to the criticism if you're ready.
Compliments. I feel like they wrote Jerry pretty correctly. I think the biggest issue is that, especially when it comes to writing scripts to submit, it's kind of ineffectual to submit a script that is timely, such as one that has Beth and Jerry divorced. Because, they probably have everything worked out before they animate even this season or even that episode. So, you could, as a fan, write that script where they're divorced and they could be together by the end of the season.
Could already be passed. Yeah,
and
that's
Justin Roiland could have already had that figured out. So not only did you waste your time... What?
I see again. So we don't know if this was submitted. I think that this might just be a fan fiction that was written in a creative format.
Okay. That could be it.
There are other scripts. I'll tell you, like I found, there's a 50-page script. There's a couple other scripts that I found that I didn't mention that are longer.
This didn't seem like a regular episode. It seems like it was longer. Actually, shorter. I'm sorry. It seemed like it was shorter.
Sure. It was more of a skeleton.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, I didn't hate it. I didn't hate it. The name sounded real. Yeah.
Yep.
Jerry could have been written a little bit better.
Yep. And I mean, it's fair. Like if you're a fan, you can only react to what you know. You don't know what the creator's intentions are. So, so in terms of criticism, do you have a pointed kind of like literary criticism of this?
I have a compliment.
You got another compliment?
Yes.
Okay.
I
So
would
this is number
say
4.
that stuff like this is good, especially since there are multiple versions of Rick. Because there's the Citadel of Rick, so there's probably thousands, if not hundreds, of Ricks. And
so the show deals with different dimensions.
Yeah, different dimensions. Yeah. Rick and Morty was on hiatus, on vacation for a year or two.
Right.
So I'm happy that someone was writing it, because this could be canon. Literally, this could be canon, but just a different universe.
That's the beauty of the show, and I think that's what a lot of people miss when they kind of make it exclusionary, is that there's so many dimensions. Whatever happens,
why not write about evil Morty? You know what I mean?
So there's a lot of evil Morty fanfic.
Really?
A lot of it is
100,000
words plus.
I don't have time for that, and I host this show.
It's not that I don't have time for that. It's that I don't have time for that.
I do not have time for that, and I'm unemployed.
Just to be able to present it in a clear and concise way to the listener. There's a lot of evil Rick, a lot of evil Morty out there.
Really,
a lot. And I would recommend people to go out and search for themselves. Any other criticisms? My only other criticism again would be kind of negligence to the structure. I read a lot of others that would begin and how it would have a break for the intro. That's very characteristic of the show, to have a cold open.
Yeah.
And then a lot of others that kind of tie themselves more closely to the narrative, the structure of the show.
Summer was very one-dimensional.
Very flat. Dropped.
And I feel like Devin, is that his name? Devlin?
Devin.
Devin.
Devin. It's Devin.
Didn't need to be in it. I mean, I want Beth to be happy, but I feel like I'd rather see her work out her problems with Jerry. He's the father of her children, you know what I mean? So
you're a shipper.
Whatevs. I'm a what?
You're a Jerry.
Oh, absolutely.
Beth shipper, like you previously mentioned. Yeah, I mean, I had fun doing it. It was enjoyable. Yeah,
I like doing all the different voices.
Yeah, it's a bit of a challenge.
Yeah,
maybe Bill Clinton.
He's definitely Bill Clinton.
That's canon.
Absolutely,
that's canon, folks.
And his lover. I should have read Sandy. Is that her name?
Sandy. Yeah,
I should have read Sandy as SpongeBob.
As SpongeBob.
That's a callback to episode 7.
Go ahead and listen to
Congrats,
episode
friends.
7.
Another callback.
If you want to really understand Sandy Slinton's character, go ahead and check it out.
Her name's Slinton?
It's Zizump Slinton.
I really missed that.
I mean, we missed a lot of things. We're drunk in the spirit of the show.
Yeah. They really only get like 4 or 5 takes out of Justin Roiland until he just goes on like slur-induced rants.
Before he's burned out.
Same here.
So other than that, I mean, we're almost out of drinks. And
we're out of drinks.
We're all out of drinks. Raging alcoholics.
I'm about to... When we're done, it's all going to be out of my body because I'm going to pee it out.
Not before me, my friend. I have to go so bad.
Fuh.
Okay.
Just a quick fuh.
I hope you really enjoyed this Rick and Morty episode.
Yes, friends, I really appreciate you listening. If this is your first episode, please don't let this be the one to judge.
Don't judge yourself.
Please,
I beg of you.
No, we have much better. Tumbling Towers, honestly, you Brits, I just want to talk about 20% of our listeners are British, which is fine. However, you've made episode 5 Tumbling Towers explode. Now, I'm not saying it's a bad story. I will say I was wrong when I reviewed it. It's not as good as I thought I was. And, really, you just like Harry Potter that much, you're just going to listen to that one. There's much better fanfics involved, okay? Especially in episode 6, Drabble Fest, there's a great Harry Potter fanfic. So, to all of you Brits out there, come on. Please listen to other episodes. Not one. That one is disgusting. It's disgusting. It's rectified anonymity. If you want to listen to it, it's available right now.
Whoever's been listening to our show, thank you so much. And whatever episode you choose to listen to, that's fine by me.
Yeah, I mean, if you only listen to us based on the fandom, that's fine. We're not going to judge you. However, this episode probably isn't stellar. We don't have much track of this one at the moment. And there are other episodes that aren't that stellar.
I think tomorrow you're going to wake up. This is coming. You're going to wake up.
Yeah.
You're going to have a bit of a headache. And you're going to listen while you edit the show. And you're going to realize that it was actually pretty good.
I have never had a hangover, my friend.
Well, that sounds like a challenge that I'm willing to accept.
Give me more liqueurs, and we'll see.
Yeah. So again, go ahead, follow us on various social media platforms.
We are on Twitter, Facebook, Tumblr. As far as podcasts go, we're on Spotify, Apple Music, Stitcher, Pocket Casts,
Fireside,
FM.
yes, sir.
That's the big hosting company, but that's not the only one.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead, follow us. Go ahead and comment. Let us know what we need to change.
Yeah.
If we need to. If not, let us know that we're perfect. Still, have a great day. We're here for you. Contact with us, listen to us, and forevermore, wubba-lubba-dub-dub.
Wubba-lubba-dub-dub!